All righty. Hello there, hello there, hello there, Facebook land. This is the one and only Big Meech, and you're dishing tea with Big Meech today. Thank you all for joining me today. Thank you all for tuning in your computers or calling by phone and coming over into the tea room, if you will. I am ecstatic for you, and I'm glad that you're here for your love and your support. Right now, my darlings, I'm pulling this together as we go along because we have to do the backup show. Today's regularly scheduled show, I had gospel artist TONEX scheduled to be on the show today. However, unfortunately, we've had to reschedule his appearance because he's been in the studio and in the studio and in the studio working on new music and forgot that Eastern Standard Time and Pacific Standard Time are two separate time zones. So he thought that the time for him to call me was on Pacific Standard Time. And so we've gotten the time zones confused. So for that blunder, we have to reschedule. So he's going to come back November 25th. That's the day before Thanksgiving. November 25th, we will have Tone here, and we would have ironed out all of the kinks and all of the time zones and all of those little shenanigans that got in the way this time, okay? So if anyone that's here, I hope I didn't upset your hearts or break your hearts in total, but just know that he is coming soon, okay? So that's 3 weeks from today, November 25th, Tone will be joining us. So in the meantime and in between times, we're going to keep things moving right along because I wasn't with you last week because when Tony was originally scheduled, because I thought that my job, we had some training and some very, very important stuff that had to be done with the day job. Well, 2 days prior to that was when they told me everything was canceled. So that was too soon and too short of a notice to try to pull everything together. So that's why I wasn't with you last week. And then now we have this week's debacle. And so we're just going to move forward. So today, I'm calling this show, this is called Don't Push the Red One. Y'all remember that, honey, from back in the day, the red button, don't push the red button? Well, darling, that button has been pushed. Today is all kinds of red button issues. So I want you to get your thinking caps on, get your mouths running, get your fingers clacking and tapping and things, because today, darlings, I want you to let your voices be heard. We're going to come up in here. I'm going to present a few topics to you, and I want to get your opinion on it. We're going to do it like we did before. I'm going to bring you in. We're going to three-way call. Hell, we may even have just a full group discussion. So for those of you who want to chime in on the discussion, feel free. Call in at 347-205-9183. Once again, 347-205-9183. I would greatly appreciate it. If you're listening by phone and want to go to the computer, just go to www.blogtalkradio.com/dishing-TTEA. So just come on in and join in with the fun, and we're going to have fun and, give it to you the way it's given to us. Okay, fabulously and fierce, not shady and cynical, okay? My disclaimer, I have to give a disclaimer. This show is mature, and it's for the grown folks who are having grown folks conversation and discussion, and it is not intended for children or anyone who is not mature enough to handle the situations presented or to listen rationally. So your listening discretion is advised, okay? Y'all know I'm going to come out of the bag, honey, and I don't know how my mouth is going to run, but just know that it's going to run, okay? I got to give you a thank you and a special shout-out to all of my sponsors. Thank you to Trade Day Management and PR firm at Trade Day Management. Enjoy a touch of Southern hospitality with a universal appeal. Contact Travion Davenport at 678-523-3088 or you can email her directly at treadaypr@gmail.com. That's TREADAYPR@gmail.com. For all of your PR needs, just see my girl Travion Davenport. Also, I want to give a special shout out to Pharaoh's Treasure Box. Fine art, unique jewelry, and 3D floral arrangements. Creations by Taps. Contact them at 248-688-5178. Once again, 248-688-5178. That's Pharaoh's Treasure Box. Also, let me give a complete shout out to Parisian Wine Productions. Parisian Wine Productions. They specialize in inspirational and gospel house music and dance music. Paris Hairston is the CEO over there in New York City at Parisian Wine, music to enlighten your spirits and to lift your souls. You can catch them at Parisian Wine Productions, and Paris Hairston is the CEO. He's on Yahoo Messenger at Paris. Just told all that up, but I'll get you his information if you need to contact him for more information on how you can get some bumping beats and tracks and get into his world and bring your world and his world together. So Parisian Wine Productions, thank you out there, Paris, for all of your love and support. And also, let me give a shout out to C-Train Productions. You're on the right train when you're with C-Train Productions, your entertainment and film emporium. Mr. Omar Casserly is the CEO and artistic director. And currently, C-Train Productions is holding an audition here in the Atlanta area on November 7th, 2009, is this coming Saturday at 12 p.m. for a short film called Burnout. Once again, auditions are being held this coming Saturday, 11/07/09 at 12 p.m. for a short film called Burnout. For more information, please send your headshots and resumes over to info@ctrainproductions.com. Once again, info@ctrainproductions.com. If you have any other questions, just hit me up in the chat room, or if there's new information that comes about that, I will gladly keep you posted. Yes, they're looking and casting for leading roles, supporting roles, and extra. And they're casting for 2 films. He's in the chat room, y'all. He's saying it's for 2 films, When It Ends and for Burnout. So yes, send all of your inquiries over to ctrainproductions.com. info@ctrainproductions.com. Auditions will be running from 12 until 6 p.m. in Decatur at 1472 Richard Road, Decatur, Georgia. Okay, so now that we have all of that, let me introduce you to a new sponsor that I've acquired recently. And I have to say shout-outs to the Reverend James Coleman out of Detroit, Michigan. He will be hosting his very, very first sermon and his first his first church service on this coming Sunday, November 8th, 2009 at noon. He's just formed his new ministries entitled Life Fellowship of Christ Ministries. Life, L-I-F-E, live in freedom everywhere. Fellowship of Christ Ministries. And they're going to start, he's having his first service Sunday, November 8th, 2009, starting at 12 noon. That's going to be over at the Woodbridge Estate Clubhouse, located at 4601 Supremes Drive. That's right down there in that Woodbridge area, you know, over there by Wayne State, where they made all those nice condos over there. And all of the streets are named after the Motown Act. So if you're familiar with that area, he's going to be over there, 4106 Supremes Drive. And that's this coming Sunday at noon. For more information, please give Reverend Coleman a call at 313-833-9790. 9278. Once again, live in freedom everywhere. So thank you, Reverend Coleman, for that support, and we're just going to continue to bless you on your way. So thank you to all of my sponsors. All right. Now let's get into the meat of the show. Once again, I'm going to, for those of you, if you're just joining us, Tony will not be on the show today due to a scheduling conflict with the time zones. He forgot that Pacific time and Eastern time are two separate time zones. He's been working in the studios constantly and basically overbooked himself. So he will be with us on November 25th. So today we're going to get into some wonderful, wonderful hot topics. Well, I'm calling them red button topics because everybody's saying hot topics these days. So we're going to go back to old school and don't push the red one. However, it has been. Let me tell you why. First, let me start with this damn video that I saw on Facebook. Y'all know I'm addicted to Facebook. I come on here every day. And if I'm not playing DJ, loading y'all and blowing y'all up with music, I am, somewhat mortified by some of the things that I found on YouTube. Now, this was a story that just happened, maybe within the last couple of weeks. There was the mother and the auntie. They left two children in the house by themselves. Now, the children were under 5. They left two kids in the house by themselves while they left to go and take the caretaker or the guy that came over to care for the home in some kind of way back to where he came from, okay? Well, the damn house caught fire. One of the children died. The other was in critical condition at the hospital. Now get it. The mama broke down, like we know parents to do to a tragedy. They interviewed the auntie. This heifer come out of a bag and says that no, she did not regret leaving the kids there. She don't know how the fire got started. Maybe one of the kids must have started the fire or something because she don't know how it happened. But no, I don't regret leaving them there. She said, now I got to go in here and make sure that my purse is okay because everything I got is in my purse, including my food stamp card. What the fuck? Baby, that was on the Fox News channel in Memphis, Tennessee. This just happened just recently. Okay? That heifer said that the food stamp card was in the damn purse. And she wanted to go get the damn purse because of the food stamp card. Oh, yeah. The food stamp card. The baby dead, but you worried about the fucking food stamp card. Yeah, okay. Yeah, you pushed the button, honey. You pushed the damn button. What the fuck is going on with the mentality of some of these folks out here? Now, mind you, remember I said this is the auntie. So these ain't even your damn kids. So maybe that's the angle she was coming from because they wasn't her kids. This your sister's children or your brother's children, somebody, you the aunt. But she was worried about their food stamps because she sells them bitches to go get her next crack rock or her next hit because you could tell she drinks. Her jowls and stuff was all, how drinkers look with their jowls. They look all droopy and saggy and things. And you can tell that she has some kind of twitch about her. So possibly she was on crack or some other drug of choice, but at least alcohol. And that was absolutely unfucking nerving. I was mortified when I saw that video. And I know that most of my friends on my page were mortified as well because that didn't make no damn sense. I'm still gagging over it. Every time I think about it, I showed it to my mother, And my mother almost started crying over the telephone because she had got so angry about it. You know, I just couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. I couldn't get it. Well, I don't know what. Somebody in the chat room said you don't know that, Meech. Okay, don't know what? That she's on drugs or whatever? You may be right. We don't know that for sure. However, looking at the telltale signs from her appearance, it is probable. And I'm not going to put that past her. You know what? That'll be a hard one to sell on me that she's not. Because somebody in their right mind would not be so cavalier as to say she's concerned about the fucking purse and the food stamp card and the baby dead. The hell you mean? Okay. Right. Yeah, you sell that 100 to somebody who got the right cost, because those are crack prices and I ain't having it. No. No, thank you. No, thank you. Moving on. Okay. I'm telling you, honey, yeah, don't push the red one. Well, no, they pushed it. We got some hot ones for you today. Now, speaking of parenting and auntieship and carrying on, let me ask this question. For those of you who are parents, those of you who are foster parents or pseudo-parents or co-parenting or, mentoring children, and they are in your care, do you think that it is appropriate for parents to befriend their children? Why is it that so many parents want to be friends with their children? Do you think it's cool for it to happen? Or do you think that the parents are living vicariously through their children? Now, the last time that we had a discussion like this, I had made mention of the fact that, some of the children, when the mama is 45, the daughter is 30, the granddaughter is 15, and the great-grand baby is newborn. When the grandmama and the granddaughter are competing for the same man, we have a fucking problem, okay? Because grandmama wants to get her groove theory on, and she competing with the granddaughter. Now, that's what we said before. This particular question comes from, I overheard a discussion where the daughter, no, this was on Wendy Williams, that's what it was. The girl asked Wendy, what should I do? Because my mama, when we out in public, honey, she don't want me to call her mama. And she don't want folks to know that I'm her daughter, and et cetera, et cetera. And then, of course, I hear all these other people around me and at work and carrying on who have this relationship with their young children, not adult children, their young children, where they're more so buddy than mother, daughter or father, son kind of thing. Do you think that that kind of relationship is appropriate? Where the children are calling the parents by the first name, I've never been one who advocated that, if we're going to partake of the herbal essence, marijuana and carrying on, and all kinds of substances, that a child and a parent do that in the same household. I have never been one who understood when parents do that. I don't understand how they say, well, if they're going to do it, I'd rather them do it with me than out there in the streets. That's a fucking cop-out. That's a cop-out, and that's a lie. There's no way I'm going to get that damn comfortable around my mother or my father, and I've not lived with my father in such a long time. But even still, I did not get that comfortable where I have to let all of my beings out around my parents. You know what I'm saying? Now, I drink around my father because he hasn't earned that right yet, all right? But I don't get pissy drunk, and I don't go overboard. I may have a beer or two in his presence because my father, that's his bonding time. Okay? I'll explain that in a minute. But with my mother knows that I can have a cocktail here and there, and I have been living on my own for quite some time. But if my mother come in here in my house, and I pay rent here right now, and I got a party going on, everybody's drink is going to their side, behind their back. The music would go down to low because my mother is in the house. You will show respect to my mother. You hear what I'm saying? And when she leaves, then we go back to normal. Or I would take mama to another part of the room, or the party to another part of the room, so that my mother is respected, because I don't party with my mama. There are certain things about me, even though my mother knows it, my mother don't need to see it. And vice versa. There is no way I need to see my mama get her thug sizzle on, honey. Why? That's my mother. We ain't in this thing to be friends like that. You know, because then that would put her in a different light with me. And certain liberties would then be taken for granted, and et cetera, et cetera. I do not agree with that. I do not agree with that. And I wish I had somebody to tell me who does. I want to hear the flip side of this coin. I want to hear somebody come and tell me why they advocate it, why they think it's okay, why they think it ought to be, and et cetera, because that there is a serious fish debate. I want somebody to tell me that. So feel free. Come on and call on in, 347-205-9183 if you're bold. Press the number 1 and I'll get you in my call queue, because you know this, I said push the red one, honey. Don't push it where somebody damn did, because someone is going to need to explain that one to me. You feel what I'm coming from? Okay, C-Train, yes, mama got to have a life too. That's true, but mama got to have a life, but mama's life is her life. It ain't mine. It's not for me as a child to sit up there to have it in front of me for me to criticize, because what mama may be trying to teach me may not be what mama is doing. You hear what I'm saying? So how can she maintain her level of respect by acting one way and telling me another thing? Do as I say, not as I do kind of shit. No, that doesn't always work. That doesn't always work. Yeah, okay, you're right. What did they say on Baby Boy? Yes, she said that on Baby Boy, but she said that why? Because she was trying to get that big grown-ass motherfucker out of her house. Because he done latched on. He thought he was her man. Okay, no. This ain't the movies. And I think what happens a lot of times, particularly when you're dealing with single parenting, is that so much emphasis has been put on the child. The child has been put into so many adult-like situations to where the child has grown up too fast, or the child has become the pseudo-husband, if it's a male child, or the pseudo-sister or pseudo-mother figure, if it's a female child. And the parents end up allowing that to happen. So as the child grows, this is what they grow into. Let me give you an example. My mother told me, she said if she had to do it all over again, she would let me be a child. Okay? Now, as the firstborn, I was very precocious and intelligent at the same time, you know, just wild and, well, not so much as wild, but, you know, wanting to explore and this, that, and the other. Well, my mother comes from the era where my grandmother was not going to be the instant babysitter because you wanted to go hang with your friends. My mother says, my grandmother used to tell her all the time, well, honey, if you're going someplace where that child can't go, then maybe you ought not to go, because I got things to do and I don't have time to take care of your children. You are my child. You are grown and living on your own. So, honey, I don't have time to take care of your children. So, if the child can't go, maybe you ought not to. Interesting concept. So what did Miss Mama do? Mama carted my black ass with her. Well, what they ended up doing, was putting me into a whole new level of, there was a whole atmosphere change. And because I was around older folks, I matured like older folks. So, a lot of folks say, you know how they tell kids you got an old soul and this, that, and the other? Well, that's what happened. And, as the firstborn, I was able to take on more responsibilities. When my brother and sisters were born, then I had to take on responsibilities because my parents' marriage was tumultuous. And so in order for the kids to be taken care of, I had stepped into that responsibility. So then my mother started to rely on me because she knew that I could do it. Then when she became a single parent, that there was a whole nother thing in itself. So as I matured, then everything about me became me being a parental-like figure. You know what I'm saying? Or I was always too grown, or my mouth was this and my mouth was that. So because of that, it has shaped me into being the person who I am today. Now that there is just on that particular tip. My mother was very gracious in the fact that I don't party with her. As I got older and there's 4 of us, so when she had the rest of us, she made sure and a point to where the kids were the kids and the adults were the adults. There were points where we had house parties, and when certain songs came on, the kids had to go outside on the damn porch and sit out there until they finished dancing to that particular nasty-ass song. And at that time, it was like, The Freak and a couple other little songs that was the hot little spots that were very provocative dances. And we couldn't watch them dance. Baby, when Mama threw us out on that porch, you talking about somebody plucked. Yes, I was mad as hell about it, but I'm very thankful about that now because that set up my boundaries to who my mother is. I don't need to see Mama doing the freak and getting her kicking. Think about how you dance now on the dance floor when you getting your dance on. Does your mama need to see you do all that? What about the damn stinking legs and all this other damn new shit that they doing on the dance floor? Do you really want your mama to see you doing all that? Where it's nothing but simulated dry sex on the dance floor? You just got on clothes? Does all that need to be in front of your mama? Or your daddy, for that matter? Interesting. So I ask again, why is it that, particularly in the African American community, because I don't see it, prevalent like that in other areas, but in our community, we tend to want to be damn friends with the kids. So why? Why is that? And do you feel that it's cool? And it's okay. I'm not going to blast you. I ain't going to cut you up. I just want to hear your side of the story. Let me hear where you're coming from with that so that we can put some kind of understanding on it, because right now it doesn't make sense. Okay? Now, that there is one topic. Okay? Let me ask you this. And I think I'm going to get something really started. Y'all know that I adore Warren Ballantyne. And, when I listen to his shows and carrying on, for those of you who haven't made the connection of the name Big Meech, yes, I'm the same one that will call in on his show. And just a couple of weeks ago, I called in, and he asked me a question. And he asked me about do black folks of LGBT culture, do we consider the gay rights, I'm going to say human rights movement, to be the same or equal to the civil rights movement? I said yes. He disagreed. And a number of folks that called into the show disagreed. And the biggest thing that their disagreeing point was, well, gay folks have never been enslaved. Gay folks don't know what the struggle is. It didn't have the dogs put on them. It wasn't, ostracized like that. They can stop being gay if they want to. You know, you can't stop being black. So then I followed up with him, and I asked him this. I said, darling, do you feel that most black people have a problem with that because white gay people said it first? When white gay people started saying, because they're the ones who coined it, that the struggle is the same, because most of the face of the gay rights movement are our Caucasian counterparts. So when that came to be, a lot of folks paused, you know, and they were quick to jump on them and say, it's not the same, and how dare you say that, and this and the other. But I, as a black man who understands the struggle, because that's all I know is the struggle, who have to now fight with my own people as a gay man for acceptance and et cetera, who still have to fight with them same white people who said that the gay struggle is the same as the civil rights struggle, but yet they still practice racism within the culture. I'm still fighting the same fight. So as a black gay man, there's no difference. There's nothing that has changed. My fight is still the fight. The major, well, I won't say no difference. The major thing is I'm now fighting harder with the black folks, because now you want to throw the church, you want to throw Jesus, you want to throw the Bible, you want to throw morality, you want to throw all of that at me. Mom and Daddy want to kick me out the house because I'm not living up to what they think I should be as a black man. So now the struggle has intensified because it has come from my own people. So I ask you, do you think that black folks have a problem with gay folks saying that the struggle is the same because white folks said it first, or because white folks are the ones who acknowledge it? What are your thoughts on that? What I tell y'all, don't push the button, honey. Yeah, we got a whole lot of buttons that have been pushed up in here. Okay? Now, here's another one for you to consider. Now, folks, you know, since our president has been elected, God bless him, God keep him, God, you know, help us all to understand what's going on. Since he's been elected, you know, this whole debate has been about whether or not race relations has been improved in our country. And I say hell to the no. However, some folks say that it has. Other folks may see that we're taking steps. I would put myself more in that category, that we're taking steps, because racism has now, or is finally being dealt with for real. And what I mean by that is we are now in a position where we actually see it for what it is, because the power has shifted. We have an African-American skinned man. I say it like that because he's biracial, but he's a darker hue. So since folks always equate that to being black, an African-American skinned president is the most powerful man in the land right now. Our Caucasian parts don't know how to handle that because of the power shift. They're waiting for the big boom. A lot of Caucasians are waiting for this quote-unquote reverse slavery type shit to happen. I've heard that on so many different levels, where they're thinking that now that he's in office, he's just waiting to sit up there and to just wreak havoc on white folks now, to make them pay for the last 400 years plus of oppression and this and that and then carrying on. But here's what I want to ask you. Not from the white man's perspective, because we understand all that. But let me get it from a black person's perspective. Because those who we see as not being black enough, We call them Uncle Toms. We call them sellouts. We call them Oreo cookies. You know, Eskimo pies. Anything that says that they have a darker outside but a vanilla inside. So I ask you this. Why do you think the Uncle Toms and the sellouts exist? And what constitutes an Uncle Tom or a sellout? What's the makeup? You know, what is the makeup? Because I may not sound like it now. In fact, I don't think that I do. However, at one point in time, because of my command of the English language, I don't. Well, at one point, I didn't use a lot of street vernacular. You know, I had a very large vocabulary, so I would sit up there and throw in 4 and 5 and 12 syllable words because I knew how to use them properly. When I was talking. However, when I was younger, and again, being in school and adoring school or whatever, I was one who got picked on because I didn't sound black, or I wasn't, I didn't talk black enough for folks, and I always talked like I was too white and this, that, and the other. So what is it that constitutes folks to being a sellout or an Uncle Tom? Okay. Let me hear your response to that. Okay. Yeah, like I said, we're pushing the red button, honey. These are red button issues because we have to deal with them. And I want to deal with them because I need to know. Because a lot of times I think we just talk too much and don't know what the hell we're talking about, from time to time. And I want to hear from the folks. Now, before I go any further, let me say this. I'm going to press pause on hot buttons right now because I want to say this. In fact, this is going to lead me to the next point. This is November. We're already close to the end of the year. We're in holiday mode, and all of those kinds of things. We're getting ready for taking for taking benevolence, helping the poor, which unnerves me because we seem to want to do that one time of the year where it's a collective effort. But this month is also known as the National Transgender Day of Remembrance. And November 20th of this year will be the day of recognition all across the country where we will honor those who are of the transgender community who have been killed, slain, murdered due to hate crimes and miscommunications. I went on the site today and I also saw that not just transgender persons are being killed, but also transgender allies and friends. There was a black guy who I saw on the list who was killed last year simply because of the perception of him being the boyfriend of a trans woman. So this year, and throughout this month, you guys are going to hear me say that this is the Transgender Day of Remembrance, and we want to honor those who have lost their lives violently in wanting to be themselves, in wanting to be who they are, who they believe they are to be. And we want to recognize their lives, and we want to spotlight this because this is the continuing drive to bring an end to all kinds of phobias, homophobia, transphobia, intersex phobia, all the phobias, so that we as a people can learn to live in this society and have our own equity in society, okay? Here in Atlanta, they're going to be down at the State Building from 7 until 9 o'clock on November 20th. And as I get more information about it, as a matter of fact, I'm reaching out to have the coordinator onto the show, Tracy McDaniel. I'm reaching out, and hopefully we can get her on the show so that we can talk about that. But the Transgender Day of Remembrance, this is that month, November 20th, 2009, across the country, whatever city and state that you're in, look it up. You can go to www.transgenderdor.org, www.transgenderdor for Day of Remembrance.org. For more information, they have a calendar page up that will give you all of the places that are going to be holding candlelight vigils across the country. In Michigan, because y'all know I'm from Detroit, and even though I'm living in Atlanta, I feel I have a dual residency. But in Michigan, it's going to be in Ferndale at the MCC Church, where they usually have it. I've participated in a couple of their events. I've even spoken before at my very first one. So it's going to be at the MCC Church. Doors opening at 6:30, and they will be going until 9 o'clock with their vigil. September 20th is the day. So I want you to keep that posted. All right. Okay, now with that being said, all right, let me start taking calls now. I'm going here. Let's see. I got 323-821 coming on the line. 323-821. Hello there, my darling. You're dishing tea with Big Meech. Hey, caller.
God bless you. God bless you, Meech. This is Dale Madison. How are you today?
I am everything, and everything is me, honey. How are you, sugar?
I am sitting here saying, my God, he's like a big black gay version of Wendy Williams. He is strong and opinionated, and he just lets you know it, and he doesn't take a breath. He just keeps on talking. I don't see how you do it. You are amazing.
Oh, well, bless your heart, baby. Thank you so much.
You were tapping so many different red button topics, and I was like saying, okay, how do you respond? And then, you know, the last one that you talked about in terms of our transgender community, just kind of, that just kind of got me angry. I just, you know, I get so, and I love the fact that you can say fuck on your radio show. I get so fucking pissed when we as a society have the nerve to kill or maim people just because we're afraid of them being different. You know, I write about in my book as a child, you know, just as a gay child, I was afraid of drag queens because of what society had put on me. The fear of even looking them directly in the face. And, you know, I feel so ashamed for having those kinds of feelings, but I'm so glad that I can identify and speak about them now. You know, I was blessed to be at a youth suicide convention conference in Baltimore earlier in the month, and I spoke with a transgender person on sexual identity issues and transgender issues, and it was just such a healing process to be able to reach 51 and put those fears to bed and hear her story and know that their lives aren't that different from ours. They're just really trying to be themselves. Just as a white man or a black man or an Asian man or person, woman, child, just tries to live their life and be themselves, the fact that people can impose their fears on them and have the nerve, the gall to try to take away their life just because they're different. You know, that taps my red button. That's the button you don't want to press with me. Like,
okay, don't press the red one, honey. Okay, Don't push it. Don't push it. I feel like Bugs Bunny. Remember in the cartoon they say, okay, no, don't push that one. Don't push that one. And, of course, to say not to push it, that's the one that draws the most attention because, see, now, okay, what is it going to do? What's going to happen? And that's there is human nature. But, okay, let me press pause for just a second. For those of you who are wondering, because I see folks, they're giving you kudos in the chat room, honey. Wow, a great caller. Yes, he is. I want you to keep that in mind, folks, because this here is Mr. Dale Guy Madison. He's going to be on the show in 2 weeks as a guest.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited.
You and me both. You and me both. Now,
my first radio show. My first radio show. I'm so excited about it. I'm nervous.
Okay, I get the exclusive. Okay, you heard it here first. Good evening. Okay, see, Wendy Williams got how you doing. I got good evening.
That's right. Good evening.
I love it.
Well, but, I'm so honored to be asked to be a guest on your show soon.
Darling, you have a wonderful story, honey, and I got to delve into this into the book. I was working on getting together with TONEX, so all of my research and stuff that I was doing with him has gotten me to a point where it had taken all of my time. And so now that we've had to postpone him and bring him in on another day, now I've opened up so that I can zoom in on this book because I've skimmed through a couple of pages, and of course, we've had earlier discussions, and I wanted to readers who like to jump to the meat. And
I know. You know how we do. There's the juicy dissentee parts. You want to know
how we
do. Who did who. Right, you know how we do, right, yeah.
You know how we do, honey. And see, the thing is, that's just for my own benefit, but I'm coming into the world of professional journalism and things, or at least for radio, a professional radio host, and learning to be a little bit more objective than subjective. But at the same time, so I want to get into these kinds of things so that I can get to the underdirt. See, that's what I want. So I know what you're saying.
We haven't even told our listeners what we're talking about, and we're talking about my new book, Dream Boy, My Life as a QVC Host and Other Greatest Hits.
My Life as a QVC Host and Other Greatest Hits. It's the Other Greatest Hits. Ooh. See, so Dale is going to be on the 18th, and we're going to get very, very, very in depth with him about the book and all the other greatest hits. And trust me, truly, honey, when I tell you when your mother comes, she's gonna come correct, because when I say this is an interesting book, I'm going to encourage you all. For those of you who are getting a sneak peek now, go get the book, because you can find it at Amazon.com.
Amazon.com, or you can go to my direct webpage, damngoodman.com.
DGM, honey. So, I meant to tell you works that.
Dale
works that for your acronym.
Yeah, that's how we go.
Damn good man. I know. Because, see, my acronym is DDT, and my mother always told me it was for damn it, don't touch. Right.
We as people get so creative. We get creative. That's who we are.
That mama did that, honey. So I just ran with it. I said, oh, okay. So you're getting a sneak peek now. So if you want to be on top of it for the interview, go get the book. I'm telling you, because I've heard him read a few passages and carrying on, and I got questions coming out the wazoo. We're going to have a very, very, very fantabulous time. Now, Dale, I'm going to bring in another caller, because I think this particular caller is going to come in. And, okay, right, the underdirt today in the chat room.
Are we doing a three-way? Is this like a radio three-way?
Uh-huh. It sure is. Now, see, you know I'm into the group thing, honey.
I know you are. I've been listening to your back radio shows. I know I listen to you call so
you know what I'm talking about. Okay.
I need to know who's interviewing me and what he might say. So I listened to the sex radio show yesterday. Yes. Ooh, the tops, the bottoms, the bathhouses, the bathrooms. I remember the D.C. library bushes and the police officers waking us up in the sunlight. Come on, Queens, it's time to go home. I just remember.
Damn, not saying come on, Queens. See, Okay, press pause. Honey. We can't give them everything. In 2 weeks, children, in 2 weeks. Okay, we're going to go to 248-688. I'm bringing you in, honey. Come on in and join the conversation. 248, you're here with Dishing Tea with Big Meech and with Dale, honey. Hey, darling.
Hey, how are you guys?
Oh, she come in so late. Honey. I said, hey, darling. You come in, hey. Give me some life, sugar. What's going on?
Everything is everything, Big Meech.
All right, there we go. What's up, baby? Speak your tea.
I wanted to comment on the friend and parenting issue.
Dish.
And I just wanted to say that I think that the problem becomes a lot of parents want to become friends because they don't have to take the responsibility of being a parent. So that's basically what it boils down to. If we're friends, then I don't have to be responsible for the shit you do.
Well, if I could comment, I had two different experiences. My mother was the kind of woman who liked to have her children with her, so she took us to different things and she exposed us to it. At the same time, if she felt that a topic was too risque, or she felt that there was some danger in it, then she explained the situation to us. Now, my father, on the other hand, he refused to even have a drink in a room with his children. He felt to keep that kind of distance because he demanded that kind of respect. So I can see it from both sides. I just know that for my world, I kind of feel closer to my mother for exposing it to me and explaining it. It's different when you got an immature parent who's so young and they drag them into it like a sister. But my mother was a mother, and she wanted her children with her. At the same time, if we were in adult situations, she always made sure to talk to us about it, and that's the difference, I feel.
Now see, here we have it, and I appreciate that, because see, my mother, well, we talked about it, but we didn't talk about it like right away. Whenever I had questions and whenever she saw that I was becoming too grown for my own britches, before she would tag that ass, she would explain to me some things, okay? And she also showed me consequences. Okay, you want to be grown? Because this is what grown folks do, okay? And that's when I would get my ass whooping. Okay?
Right,
because there was a consequence.
Drinking and smoking cigarettes.
Darling.
She was like, yeah, you want to rerun, you want to see this? Then you see the result of it. That kind of thing.
Wait.
So, I got it. I got it from both sides. I got to see the good and the bad.
Oh, yeah. I was, what, 9 or 10 years old, and at that time, it was cute to leave your kids in the car. And I was older, and, they didn't want to drag us in the store. And it was a number of us in the car. We had the windows down and things, and of course, you don't touch nothing, you don't do nothing, because I'll be right back. All right. Well, I saw a cigarette butt in the ashtray. Now, the flaw was, I stood up there and did all this in front of children, okay, who got mouths, okay? So I lit the cigarette thinking I was grown and, imitating what I saw. And, of course, when we got to the house, everybody in the car ran, oh, Meechie had a cigarette, Meechie had a cigarette. So my mother, being the wonderful woman that she is, she came and sat me down. She said, oh, so do you want to smoke? I said, well, no. So do you want to smoke? Okay. So she sat me down. She gave me a cigarette, and she lit it. She said, now smoke it. And I said, of course, now I got embarrassed. Okay. But she said, no, smoke it. So I puffed and, blew the smoke right back out, like I'm doing something. She said, you have to inhale the smoke, baby. You take and inhale. And I did that, and I started gagging. She said, oh, no, but you want to smoke. She said, yeah, you going to smoke that cigarette to the end. Baby, when I tell you I was dizzier than dizzy, my entire world spun. Mama didn't have to hit me. She didn't have to do nothing. And from that point, you know, I had said, okay, I was done until I was 14, and then I was grown then because I was buying them myself. I was working then, you know.
I was wondering when the PS was going to come to your story.
But even then, you know, because I'm a stage actor, I learned how to do that because I'm not a smoker, but, you know, if the role requires it, I know how to do that. But no, that was something, no, I had to learn that. And when Mama did that, you know, that was one of those kinds of things. Of course, you know, I got cussed out by my friends and carrying on. I talked about this, that, and the other. I was sick as a dog, but those were some of the consequences. And it wasn't her trying to be a friend to me. That was one of those things you were saying. It was an educational tool. If you're going to be grown, this is what grown folks do. And that was the kind of training that I had. Now, these kids nowadays, particularly, like I said earlier, when the grandmama is 45 and the granddaughter is 15, we're in this where the grandmama and the 15-year-old are competing for the same fucking man. I don't understand that. You done ran to the beauty shop faster than your little granddaughter did to get your little snatch back and your little weave in so you could go drop it like it's hot. You sit up there wearing the same size clothes as the granddaughter and the same clothes, okay? And when you sit up there and not have any kind of boundaries, I have a problem with that because, see, what then are we teaching our children? You know, what do you teach them?
Yeah, well, see, that comes where because the older parent in the situation still has never become a child. They've had children, but they've never lived the life of a child. So they're in this situation, and they're still trying to gain their childhood back after they've had these children. But there's so many people who forget to remind them that after you drop this child into the world, then you automatically enter adulthood, and you've already sacrificed your childhood. You've given that up. So now you've got to become mature overnight. And these people fight that. They fight that. And it taps my red button because I say, and they have the nerve to let straight people have children without giving them any kind of evaluation, without giving them any kind of test. They have the nerve to allow straight people to drop babies out their ass whenever they feel like, and they have the nerve to ask me as a gay man whether I have the right to get married, whether I have the right to have a child. I can jump through circles and take hundreds of tests, but straight people can drop them on the street corner, drop them off in a trash can, and nobody thinks anything of it.
Okay.
Oh, that's my red. Don't touch that red button with me. Don't touch my red button when it comes.
See, wait a minute, because okay,
sure, right there.
Okay. My hand is itching. My hand is itching because when I think about listen.
Now, touching it is gonna make me reach through this phone and smack the shit out of you.
That's damn. I like how you said that. Hold on, that would. Okay, that's a whole nother show. Anyway. But here's the thing, because Maine has just repealed their gay marriage bills there. Okay, it just passed last night. Okay. So in saying all that, I am not understanding. Well, no, not wrong avenue. What I'm saying is, with your comment that you just made about how we are not, how straight folks are not given the same scrutinies and not this, that, and the others, about parenting, about everything else, that there becomes a hot topic and a red button issue for me, because even with all of this bullshit, mainstream society still want to say that we're still wronger than wrong. And I have an issue with that because, damn it, where the fuck do you think we got it from? We're emulating everything that has been taught to us by straight people. And this is not saying that all straight folks are bad. This is just saying that, damn it, we are people just like everybody else, and stop using this fucking ass excuse, because when it comes to the comparison, damn it, gay folks have been doing everything by the motherfucking book that we know to do because we've had to. We've had to fight to keep stuff longer. We had to fight to make sure that it was legit. We had to fight to do this. Straight folks, they had that same kind of fucking fight because there was no fear in that.
That's right. You hit
that kind
right
of fear was
head.
not there.
Right on the head. It's like they get it and don't even appreciate it. We have to work so hard to prove it. And, you know,
exactly.
And who has the fucking nerve to repeal? Who has the fucking nerve to take away a right that you shouldn't even had to give to me, that should have been mine in the first goddamn place?
In the first place, because as a human being, when I sat up there and the doctor slapped me on my ass and I didn't hit him back, should have said that I've earned everything that's entitled to me as a human being at that particular point. However, because and I'm going to say this Hitler syndrome, which is not even the Hitler syndrome, it dates back further than him, these folks wanted to build this perfect society. You know, everything has to be so perfect that in that particular case, they refuse to see where all of this becomes similar. That's why when I said before, the red hot button issue about white folks saying that the struggle is the same as the civil rights movement versus when black folks say it. Because I really believe that to hear a white person say that the human rights movement is equal to that of the civil rights movement, that infuriates a lot of black folks.
But you know, when you said that, I thought about the NAACP has embraced our struggle, and they link it to the same kind of struggle. You know, it's some kind of, I don't know whether it's a media twist or something like that, but you know, if the NAACP can see that our struggle is really the same, technically, it really is.
Because see, this is what I tell folks: oppression is oppression is oppression. Now, there's certain nuances about it that may be different. Take civil rights. We were looking for equality to break free of a racial system that had enslaved us for so many years. Then when the slavery was, when we got free and this, that, and the other, then you still want to use them same principles and to keep us down. And that's where it is. It's the principles of what oppression is, because everything else minus the slavery is fucking identical.
Yeah.
Everything is identical. I had to point that out.
You have white people killing black people because they got their freedom.
Because they're black.
People today killing gay people. You know,
because they're gay.
They're different.
Because you looked at me wrong, just like they was killing blacks for looking at the white woman, and you perceived and assumed that I'm looking at her in a way of lustful intent. The same way straight folks want to beat up on gays. Well, you looked at me. And how do I know what you want to have? It's the identical same thing. It's the same thing. You want to sit there and rape and pillage lesbians because all they need is a good piece of dick to get their mind right. When that's what you were saying to the black women back in the day, honey. All you need is some good white boy dick up in you so that you know what's right from wrong. What? It's the same thing. If you listen to the language, it's the same. So I don't understand why straight folks get on that particular bandwagon and say that it's not, because it's all the same. Oppression is oppression is oppression. And that child, okay, red button. Don't push it.
Don't push it. Don't push it. Because,
okay.
Heterosexual people in general are afraid of sexuality. They're afraid of uncovering all the different layers of sexuality. The whole fear with homosexual is the fact that homosexuality deals with a sexual level that heterosexual people, or the majority of the haters of gay people, is that they are afraid to deal with. I think, just accepting that you're a gay person means that I'm unafraid to uncover some of the sexuality that's within me, and
exactly.
That's a scary thing for somebody who's always trying to keep that sexuality hidden in a closet. You know
what? Let me go here. Because see, you're going to hit on something that I was just in
to call yourself
debate.
from Detroit, and you do that fitting. I love it. You call yourself from Detroit, but you're a Southern boy. Go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. Um, I got into a debate with a bunch of heterosexual men, and this was online, and it revolved around sexuality and pleasure. Okay, now I really believe, particularly talking men, because women have it has always been acceptable for women to explore their bodies, to understand what makes them tick. Everything that's geared about sexuality is all about the woman exploring her body, how she can get the big orgasm, how she can get her toes to clear. Everything revolving around sexuality always focuses on the woman's body and what pleases her. The man is only taught how to please a woman. A man is never taught how to please himself or how to examine his body or how to understand what makes him feel good in order to get the best sexual experience. So in saying that, whenever a man finds out that what is considered or classified as quote-unquote gay, and he finds that it feels good to him, he then goes into this whole whirlwind of what his sexuality is, which is nothing but that your body is designed for pleasure, and you just found out something that you damn like.
Well, I'm going to steal one of your lines. Pleasure is pleasure is pleasure.
How about it?
Hello.
How about it? Okay.
Pleasure is pleasure is pleasure.
I told somebody, I said, baby, if I sat up there and blindfolded you, okay, had you stripped down naked, blindfolded you and tied your hands up, and just said you are about to get a blowjob, okay?
Have you seen that porn site? Have you seen the porn site? There's a porn site that does that. They drive along, they pick up a guy,
I have that.
They put the girl in the front, and she puts the blindfolds, and she says, "You gotta get up," and then she steps away, and then her gay friend gives a little, and he's enjoying it. He's enjoying it until she takes the blindfold off, until he sees that it's a gay man, then he freaks out. Sometimes they freak out, sometimes they don't. Hello.
Yeah, but some of those are set up because some of those, if you're a porn connoisseur like me, you know some of the porn actors. Okay. But I say that to straight folks all the time because, like, you know, a man has a prostate. And I said this in a chat room before, and it's going to sound gross, folks. But I said this before. I said, do you really understand what happens when you have to go sit on the throne and have a conference with the queen? I said, whenever you're done, don't you know that feeling of, damn, that feel good? Why? Because that prostate had been massaged. Now, that's on the way out. If you going in and you got your woman or whoever you decide to be with, in my case, it's a man, and they just go back there and not trying to sit up there and give you the whole whatever, but they go down there and they start to rub in that particular area, a man gets upset because it feels good, and he can't understand it. All he knows is ain't nobody supposed to be fucking with my ass. And that became a big discussion. And I call it a red button issue because that there, if you're not in the right setting, honey, that would cause a fight. You know, it would cause all kinds of hardship. Women have said that, you know, a man would backstop a woman because I'm the man. Well, honey, this ain't got nothing to do with your manliness or whatever. All this is just saying that this is what it is.
Like, you know, I had a heterosexual female friend of mine say, you know, I stuck my finger up my boyfriend's ass and he enjoyed it. Does that mean he's gay? And I said, and I go back to pleasure is pleasure. I said, enjoying your prostate is not a sign or identifying you as, that's not the signal. That's not the magic button that tells you that your man is gay. You know, if he loves another man, if he's attracted to another man, that's being gay. Just because he enjoys the pleasure of having his prostate massage has nothing to do with it. And we as sexual beings need to erase having to identify a sexuality based on a pleasure experience.
Exactly. Okay, exactly. So see, all of that, just like we said, all of it becomes the same. It becomes the same. My God. And it becomes frustrating from time to time because, you know, you find yourself going in circles and you find yourself, you know, going over shit that really, really, really you really have no need to be going over it. You know, it's just, I really believe, and I said this, I wrote this to Tone, and it was such an epiphany. I said the world wants to sit up there and make sure by using absolutes that everything is black and white when they know the rainbow exists. And that's so wow, that's just so profound.
Yeah, it is.
And such a double entendre. But the rainbow does exist, darling, because everything is not in black and white. Everything is not, there's all shades of gray, there's blues, and stuff that we haven't explored that needs to come into the mix and talk about. Whether we find them to be far-fetched or not, it exists. And we cannot deny its existence. And I think that probably is my biggest point, is the underlying link to everything that I've said that's a hot button topic, is that there is a place for everything because it exists. Whether we like it or not, it fucking exists. And how dare you deny it? Who are you to deny it? You're not the creator. It's here for whatever reasons. And how dare you be so arrogant to say that it shouldn't or it don't exist? We may not understand it, but it's here. And the job is to try to get some kind of clarity or understanding so you can say, yes, I'm going to fuck with it, or no, let me stay 20 paces back because that don't mean me no good. So that there is what all of this stems, or I think should be my underlying theme for all of this, because it's ridiculous. It becomes damn ridiculous. And I'm still pissed about this thing with the damn food stamp card. I don't know why that just hit me, probably because I'm hungry. But damn it. I thought food and went straight to food stamps. And, have you seen the video on Facebook?
No, I have not. I was getting ready to type it in, but I was trying to figure out where your chat room is. I was just learning this whole blog talk thing today, and I'm listening to that like saying, oh, ghetto fabulous. That's a hot ghetto mess. You know.
Okay, Vanity 6 in the chat was that if he likes it up the rear too much, then you should be aware. But besides that, she shouldn't worry. Okay, what you say? Like it up there too much. Well, Vanity, what is too much? Because I like, you know, he likes to fuck you in your pussy, girl, and I'm being blunt. But if you take a too much dick, is that too much? Do we need to be aware of that, or what? If he like it, he like it. Now, if he's asking you to do other things, then maybe you need to start asking questions, because it doesn't sound like that you should be aware. I mean, he should be aware. It sounds like you, because you're the ones that have all the insecurity issues. So then that means that you need to open this up for communication and further study, because maybe he's not the man that you thought he was, because you sitting up there seeing him in rose-colored glasses. I know. Pop your eyes, honey. She done gave me the little thing in the chat room, honey, on the little,
Where is the chat? How do you find the chat? Tell your viewers.
No, it's not attacking you, baby. I'm not attacking you. I'm not attacking you. She said, hey, don't attack me. I'm not attacking you. I'm bringing that as a point, baby, because you speak for a lot of the folks in, you know, that's a common analogy there, because in fact that's the first thing most straight folks will say. Well, no, he like it other than nastiness, and that's exactly what we just said. That has nothing to do or what constitutes him being gay or anything. It just says that that's something that he likes. And for the most part, if a man knows that he can have that with his woman and she ain't gonna go tell her girlfriends, you'd be surprised what he like. But because he's insecure with himself and don't know how to do nothing with his body, how many men do you know like their nipples taken care of, honey? Now, I happen to be one who like a man who is top heavy. I love a big-breasted man. Not the silicone ones. That's no slam to my trans girls. But y'all trying to be women, honey. No. Okay? I like a naturally top-heavy man. That just drives me fucking crazy. Now,
amen. Hallelujah.
Okay. The amen corner right there. Hallelujah.
Bro, give me man boobs any day. I love it.
Any day. Now there are men who have come into understanding that the nipples are sensitive. And I mean, hey, you see them porn movies all the time. When you sit up there giving a blowjob, he's up there flicking his nipples because it's pleasurable. He's learning his body, and that there is something that men are not taught. what it is about their bodies. It's you know, we say that men need to know it, but all they know how to do is jack off. But outside of that, they don't know nothing about it. Have the inside of a man's thighs, honey. Ladies, pay close attention to what I'm going to teach you. Because, child,
as quiet as told, you have as many confused gay people as you do confused straight people. There's so many gay people that would have gladly have stayed in a heterosexual relationship had they learned to explore their bodies with their woman.
Exactly.
They end up in gay relationships abusing gay men. And we never deal with that. We never talk about that.
Ooh.
A lot of gay people that shouldn't be gay people.
Wait a minute. You just blew my wig back. Hold on. Stand up straight and pay attention.
Girls, and listen to what I said. Pay attention.
Did you just say that?
Thank you.
Oh, you are just not. That's real tea right there. Because you're right. That's an area that we never talk about.
Never
ever talk about that. And because I've always said, you know, there's the spectrum on sexuality is so vast. See, we know straight is on one end of the spectrum, gay is on the opposite end, and bi-attractionality is right there dead center. But just like a number line, everything is right there in between. Because between gay and bisexual, whatever all that is in between there, and between bisexual and gay, everything that's all in between there. So when we don't explore these things, then it seems as though it's an anomaly because it's never been talked about before. I just heard on the doctors today, the doctor's program, that the woman found out she was allergic to her husband on her wedding night. And they just said that the reason, they said what had happened was the protein in his sperm reacts the same way like a peanut allergy or something because she got burned and blistered and carrying on, and she was allergic to his damn sperm.
Wow, that's
how about that? That's the first time I ever heard that. Explain. Now, you know, I've heard other little stupid shit out there, but that was on the doctors just today, just this morning.
Mm-hmm.
So we don't know all of what sexuality entails, and we're still learning as a slow, progressive society that we are. We're still learning and still coming into it and still doing this and still doing that. So, you know, it becomes a journey, if you will, and a lot of folks are not willing to go on that journey because we're so rigid in what's masculine and what's feminine.
Right.
Woo! You said that. What you say? Some of these children, as God knows, honey, some of them should have stayed. Honey, ladies, let me tell you right now, and listen to me very carefully, because there's a number of men, I want y'all to let those who say they straight, let them stay straight. Now, see, here's a red button for me. Don't come asking your good gay girlfriend or whatever, your boyfriend or whatever, is he gay or not. Let that man stay straight. Because there's a number of other little motherfuckers, honey, that we don't need on this side of the damn street. We don't need them. Let that man stay over there. Praise God.
The misconception is that straight people think we want to turn everybody gay. No, we don't.
No, darling. Hell to the no. Whitney all day, I'm quoting you. Hell to the no. There's some fuckers out there. God bless. I'm so happy when they say they straight. Oh, I don't go that way. Thank God, honey. You don't know what you just did for me. Praise God. Okay. Oh, like you said, that's going to hurt my damn feelings. Thank you, Jesus. You don't know. That's a happy dance right there. I would backflip to heaven and kiss God right in the mouth and come on back. Thank you, because you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Woo! All right.
Take a breath. Breathing. All right.
I'm breathing.
But tell me where, you have to answer this question, where is the chat room? I want to see the other people who are making comments about what you're saying. Where is the chat room located? Okay, the chat room, did you sign into the system? When you come in, wait a minute, let me go to my show page, because when you go to the show page, if you look down, scroll down the show page, there should be a little green tab that says chat now or chat live or whatever. You should be able to click on that and to get in. Everything else, listen home, on air categories, Contact us. I just saw the people who listen to this radio show also liked, but I don't see a green button that says chat.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Okay, I have to, probably because you're a guest. And if you are a guest, usually the guest, yeah, you probably have to create a page.
Okay.
You probably have to create a page onto the Blog Talk system, and then once you have a page, it will let you come in to chat.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
This
Yeah,
is
Vanity
so much
says,
fun.
I know, I love it. I love it. Vanity 6 says, but there's too many men on the download that are sleeping with both genders. Y'all are too much. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, C-Train Productions. I know, honey. Y'all know how I'm cutting. I told y'all at the beginning of this thing, honey, this is red button issues. Now, you knew we was going to cover the gamut. Now, I only let out a few. But, damn it, you just gave me one, honey, that I'm going to have to go do some research on. And that is, the whole idea of the children, honey, gay, or the gay for pay children, or these pseudo-gay men who don't know their bodies, who end up thinking that all they supposed to be is gay, and end up, just abusing, particularly, and you know what, wait a minute, because
those
usually,
hyper macho, those hyper masculine,
yes, my God,
that think that they think that just because they're fucking ass that they're gay, and then they don't want, and they actually are almost abusive in these relationships, and it's because they're gay men.
And usually they go for the ultra feminine children or our trans girls. Yeah, because we see them as trade. We see them as trade, honey. That's the kind of shit that everybody's supposed to be wanting and adoring, and this, that, and the other. And that's just it. It becomes these volatile, abusive relationships to where you got to fucking kill this fool or send his ass back to jail because he's fucked up in the head.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's all right. Now, you know what? I'm going to put some research on that. I think I'm going to open up the new year with that one. All right.
And you got it from Dream Boy.
Okay, Dream, baby, Dream. Okay. Now, on my timer, I'm down to a minute left in the show. Damn, okay, I got through an hour and a half. Wow, I talk a lot. Now, you know what? This is really saying something. I got to call my best friend and tell him, yes, I just proven it to myself again. I talk too much. But
yes, 2 hours of almost talking to yourself the whole hour, the first hour and a half.
I know. It's crazy. It's crazy. He used to live in Indiana, and we would, instead of writing, we would do tapes. And I got through 2 90-minute tapes, forgetting that there were no pauses, and I was just dishing, honey, just telling him what was going on. And when the tape stopped, because I had to turn it over, I forgot. I was like, oh, my God, it stopped. And, yeah, I did that through 2 90-minute tapes to send him because I talked. But, yeah. Anyway, let me say thank you to everyone because right now I'm down to 55 seconds. And those of you who are listening by computer, once this thing stops streaming, you won't hear me anymore. However, if I say anything after this particular time, you can catch everything in the archives. So make sure you log on and go to the archives. I thank you all for joining me. This is one of those days, honey, where, we had to press the red button. So be sure that you go to ctrainproductions.com for the audition information that I gave you earlier, and make sure that you tell a friend if you love it, tell an enemy if you hated it, and we will see you all here next week. I have Renee Peoples from TPN Network's going to be here, and also out hip-hop rappers Lester Green and Infinite are going to be on the show. So, again, I say thank you to all of you. We're going to keep talking, and you catch everything in the archive. So I love you all. Thank you. Good night. Now, okay, we'll stop streaming online. It's still going to be recorded, so, honey, if it's something that you want to say personally, don't give out all the personal stuff just yet, because I'm still recording.
My goodness.
Okay, I got to catch folks, because they'll be like, okay, are we off the record? No, we're not.
This is an amazing experience. It really is. I give you so much props because the energy that it takes to have to be able to talk constantly on various topics and keep that energy level up for 2 hours is beyond my scope, I think about the days back when I was on QVC, and I would have to talk for 4 hours, but, I had models and cameras and producers and, products coming in, and so, you could find yourself talking, but you literally just get in that system, that computer, and you just go for it for 2 hours. If nobody calls in, you're still talking for 2 hours.
Baby, see, that there is part of what this is all about. And particularly, now, I'm going to, well, let me say this delicately. Because of the nature of the show, and it had to be canceled, I had to come up with a backup plan that I wasn't so cute on. See, when I first said I was going to do the backup show, it was in my mind as a backup show, okay, which means I really kind of made it like the Z result and not the B.
Right.
Okay, so when it had to become Plan B, I was like, okay, and I was feeling it, but then I said, well, my audience will get to me, My audience will get to me, and they'll call in, and I know they'll talk. When we did this the last time, they'll call in, and we'll just have a kiki time. Well, darling, today, I'm sure, because of my time slot, a lot of folks are probably still at work, and it's the beginning of the month, which is what I forgot about. Today is the 4th. Everybody got their little checks on the 1st and the 3rd. They are taking care of their business. Now, I'm talking real. Okay, so they are out doing.
I wish I was out paying bills. Yeah, I'll be here listening to you.
Okay, right. Okay, so they're probably going to catch all of this in the archives, and they'll come back and they'll be like, okay, this is cutesy. So in order for me to make sure that I keep the show flowing, I had to find those areas of strength that says, okay, this is what it is that I want to do. And so to all of you who's still listening, yes, I consider it an art form that I have the gift of gab, honey, because, quite frankly, there was no one calling in. To be totally honest, you were the first caller. So if you had not called, I would have had to carry this. And I have no problem with it because it's my show.
That's how you roll.
And everybody's looking for me for that. So, yeah, we do what we have to do. So I applaud you and thank you for the kudos, honey. But, yeah, it's a work in progress. It's a work in progress.
Wow.
So that's the telltale secret, audience, the listeners out there. That there is the secret.
Yeah.
So
you are blessed with the gift of gab.
We just have to make it happen.
You are blessed with the gift of gab. Wow.
Yeah. So that there is that. Oh, let me say this to all of you out there for catching this in the archives, because I understand that the LGBT community has an ally in Michael Baisden. Someone was telling me about his show yesterday.
Yeah.
And said that, baby, he has just really been raking kids across the coal, calling in with stupid shit about, the LGBT community. Since President Obama has put into law, our hate crime bills to where sexual identity and gender expression has now been included in the hate crimes bill and carrying on. He's passed that. So that would I had to go catch his archives because I'm told that's what he talked about, and his disdainment rather with those who bash gays for no apparent reason and this, that, and the other. So I have to put this out publicly that we have an ally in Michael Baisden for the LGBT community, and we need to make sure. Now I'm saying this like this. Don't take it at my word. Research Michael Baisden. Please research him for your own taste and your own personal acceptance, so that way you're not being led by somebody. Because I don't want to come back 6 months later and say, oh, that motherfucker done pulled the whammy. Research on your own, because I'm saying today we have an ally in him, and I embrace him and I support him. So, but I've been a supporter for him for years.
When I first listened to him, he had that, how you make snap judgments of people. I thought he just had that hyper-masculine, anti-gay tone to him. But the first time I heard a caller make an anti-gay statement, and I heard him cut that person down and speak about the rights of gay people. And then I went to his website, and when you go to his icycolor.com, he even has chat rooms called Gay Boys for Basden, where he's got a fan base of gay guys who support him. Because, he's very, he's probably one of the most open-minded heterosexual men I've ever heard in media. He's like a black version to me of Phil Donahue. He gets the femininity. He understands that he's a man, but he also understands that there are gay men that exist in this world. And that they have the same lives and struggles that straight people have. And he does that without any fear, which gives me, I get total props to him.
And a lot of that is because of his own, his own sexual proclivities, honey. He claims he's very comfortable as a man who is a swinger. Now, he's a man who likes lesbian women. So, he's completely heterosexual, that we know, and I'm not going to put you out there like that, Michael, in case you're listening. Okay. However, he stands firm on that. And because he is living a lifestyle that is objectionable to mainstream, being a swinger, he understands what that persecution is. So not only is he an ally, but he's also coming from a base of experience, because he too has been, that swinging lifestyle has also been targeted for spreading HIV and all those other, things that ostracize, that mainstream like to ostracize these communities with. So he understands what that persecution is, at least from my observation of it. So I have to stand and applaud that. So, yeah, so for your listening audience out there, yes, Michael Basden is an ally to the LGBT community, and too bad that, we run our shows almost wrapped at the same time almost, because I'm still going to send out an invitation to get him on the show and see when he's on vacation or something, if we can just do a drop and carry it on. So, all right. Now, the current time is 2:37 Eastern Standard Time. Darling, I have to get dressed now because we got to go play.
You have a job.
Yeah. Yeah, it's time for me to go make the donuts, children. And today I am feeling sour creams. And no, jelly's going to be too sweet today. I'm not going to give them all that today. No, I that's part of my running joke with folks when I say I got to go make the donuts. So I tell them what kind I'm making today. So, yeah, I think it'll just be a batch of sour cream.
Well, it's been a pleasure listening to you and chatting with you, and I'm looking so forward to our show. Is it November 18th?
Darling, 2 weeks, honey. November 18th, right here on Blog Talk Radio.
I've been sending you music throughout the show, sending you music so that you can get ready for our show with all the songs to relive.
Okay, cute. Let me go check my emails and carry on, because I got to load them up into my call queue here, and into my musical tracks. My musical files.
I'm gonna make you love me. I just thought that was the fiercest title. That's one of my favorite songs. I'm gonna make you love me.
How about that? Because that hit me spiritually when I thought about it. I said, I got to put a title, and I didn't want to call it the title of the book. So that was the first thing that came to me. I said, okay, I'm going to do that. That's Ross. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, that's Ross. Yeah. You have a wonderful day, Peach. You have a fabulous day, and it was such a pleasure. I'm going to talk to you soon. Okay.
Okay, my darling. Thank you so much. I love you for everything. Okay, and for being you, honey. So yeah, we'll talk again soon.
All righty. Bye bye.
All right. Bye bye. And to the callers and to all of those who are listening, thank you once again. Yes, that was a little personal banter there for the after show, but you got a little insight. So on that, my dears, it is now 20 minutes to 3. I have exactly, 50 minutes to get to work. So until next week, dears, I will see you all then. Thank you so much for dishing tea with Big Meech. Bye-bye.